Okay, let's talk about something straight out of the movies, time travel. But what if I told you it's not just sci-fi fantasy? What if it's scientifically proven? Yeah, let's get into it.
I mean, who hasn't, right? The idea of seeing the dinosaurs, or maybe peeking at what the world looks like in 1,000 years, it's just one of those ultimate what if questions that everybody thinks about. And this is where things get really, really interesting. Because this isn't just wishful thinking. The proof is actually woven into the fundamental rules of our universe, and it was figured out over 100 years ago by, you guessed it, Albert Einstein. So to really understand how he proved it, we have to go back and look at his most mind-blowing idea.
You see, back in 1905, Einstein just completely turned our understanding of time on its head. He said that time isn't this constant, universal clock that ticks at the same speed for everyone. No, he said time is flexible, it's relative. It can actually stretch and shrink depending on what you're doing.
And this wild concept really boils down to two main things. First, speed. The faster you rocket through space, the slower time actually passes for you, compared to someone standing still. And second, gravity. The stronger the gravity you're in, the slower your clock ticks. It's pretty wild.
Of course, a theory that crazy needs some serious proof. You can't just throw that out there. And for decades, that's all it was, a really cool theory on paper. But eventually, our technology started to catch up. So, for more than 65 years, this was all just theory. It took all the way until 1971 for our tech to get good enough for scientists to actually design a real-world test to see if Einstein was right. And the experiment they came up with was so clever and simple. They took these super accurate atomic clocks, put a few of them on commercial jets, and flew them around the world. Then they left one identical clock on the ground. The idea was, when the planes landed, they'd compare the clocks. If Einstein was onto something, the traveling clocks should be just a little bit behind.
And what do you know? They were. The difference was tiny. I mean, just a few microseconds, a tiny fraction of a second, but it was there. It was measurable. And this was it, the first real-world proof that time travel, to the future at least, is real. Now, a few microseconds might not sound like a big deal, but that tiny effect is the secret ingredient that makes a piece of technology you probably have in your pocket right now even work. Yep, I'm talking about your phone's GPS. Without Einstein's theory of relativity, it would be completely useless.
Just think about it for a second. GPS satellites are dealing with both of Einstein's principles at once. One, they're moving incredibly fast, which should slow their clocks down. But two, they're way up high, far from Earth's center, so they're in a weaker gravitational field. And that actually speeds their clocks up compared to us down here. It turns out that gravity's effect is the stronger one. So when you balance it all out, what's the net result? The clocks on GPS satellites actually run about 7 microseconds faster than our clocks on the ground every single day. So here's the crucial part. What if the engineers who designed the GPS system just said, 7 microseconds? Who cares? It's too small a matter. What would actually happen? Well, your GPS location would be wrong by about 10 kilometers every single day. It would be a complete disaster. Your Maps app would be telling you you're in the next town over. This is the perfect example of how this isn't just some abstract theory. It has massive real-world consequences. So, you see, time travel isn't just about hopping into a DeLorean. It's a fundamental part of how our universe works. It's happening all around us, all the time. Every time you get on an airplane, you're traveling into the future just a tiny bit faster than the people you left behind on the ground. An astronaut on the International Space Station literally ages slower than we do. In a very real sense, we are all time travelers, each of us moving forward on our own slightly different timeline, all shaped by how fast we move and the gravity we feel. So we know traveling to the future is possible, which, of course, leaves us with that one last big question. If you really could choose, would you go to the past or the future? Something to think about.